Welcome to GoldBoys Live, presented by Pickett Sports Sleeper Picks. It is a rainy Monday here on the East Coast. There's bad weather all around, which does play into the betting. So, Brad, Josh, we got a bunch of baseball games. We got one semi-afternoon game. We got great division races. Maybe we'll get into NFL preseason. We get a full slate this week. Boys, what's going on?
Man, there you were talking about weather. I was thinking about like what games are probably like there's gonna be games that probably won't even get played. Like I'd imagine like the Atlanta game probably doesn't get played, right? Like if it does, what time are they gonna play it at? Like way late because it's thunderstorms all the way till 10 p.m.
We need Brad to have one of those screens with the weather, like one of those weather guys and the little
He could
maps
do
and
it.
everything, and he can stand up. And yeah, we definitely need that because he's our
Dude,
weather guy.
if there isn't that dedication to like weather tracking and correlating it to baseball bets, then we definitely found a niche that we can hit, I think, pretty hard.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
we
just for
do.
people
We're
that haven't
doing it.
watched, like, or haven't followed the way we attack, and no matter what you're betting, be wary of the rain, whether it's hits, props, anything. Just have an idea that hey, rain could affect this. But the angle, and I think Josh was the first one to uncover this, is
Yeah.
alternate K
Someone else
props.
knows
Just
that.
parlay them for these games with rain in the forecast, especially if you can really narrow down the forecast. Like, hey, rain's going to hit an hour into the game. Well, that's the sweet spot where these pitchers start, so you have action, and maybe they get pulled second, third inning. We have a rain delay for an hour, and you get new pitchers, and you can parlay these. Like I was looking at, and I'll just say it now, Senga and Smiley. I think if it's under 3.5 Ks for Smiley, under 5.5 Ks for Senga, parlayed together is plus 550. Hey, I mean, you get rain in the second or third inning, you get them both yanked. And I believe, and it's book to book, it varies, but at Bet Rivers, even if the game is suspended and finished the next day, they pay out on it. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's something worth looking at. Any other games? Let's just keep it on that, Brad. Any games you think will have a good chance to start, but then stop and then start again?
Yeah, so you said it. That's my favorite game, and is the Mets, the Cubs at the Mets, because it's not a heavy chance of rain until 8 p.m. Game slated to start at 7:10. So if we get like a little bit of weather coming in, not until like 8, that's 30, 40 minutes into it. And then I already liked Senga's under pitching outs prior to the looking at the weather. So that was already kind of correlated there. Another one that is going to be interesting. I don't think it's going to play is Atlanta at the Pirates because it's going to be crazy weather all day. They get like the smallest gap in weather, but I don't think they're going to be like, oh, we get this small gap of weather, play and then get postponed. But if they do, that's one to look at. And then the last one is the Nationals Phillies, where it progressively gets worse until 8 p.m. So that's when like the thunderstorm and everything, the thunderstorm is going to be the heaviest, and that's Phillies Nationals at 8 p.m. I mean at 6:40, excuse me.
And that could be one. Yeah, Braves are at the Pirates. That's one. Like Cy Young race is really interesting. Just looking at this, and we can talk about awards too if you want. Strider does have a 3.61 ERA, so I've been like, oh, he's probably going to win it. Most strikeouts. He's on the best team. 3.6. I know ERA is not everything, but it's still a pretty mainstream stat. But tonight might be a game where he can, go 7-8 shutout inning, strike out 9, 10, 12 guys, something like that against a bad
Yep.
Pittsburgh team and put himself like as the favorite here. So that is a fascinating race. Anything jump out to you on this board, Josh?
Yeah. I'm definitely looking at Miami Cincy. I wanted to talk about Yuri Perez, so that's why I wanted to bet on that game because he's back after he was out for like a month, just like
Siberia.
normal rest. Yeah. He's just like in Double-A basically for like 1 or 2 starts. He's still really freaking nasty.
Yeah.
And he's going up against the Reds, who have a bunch of lefties. He's insanely good against lefties, even higher K percentage on like the oppo hitters, which is cool. So both these offenses suck. So I would even consider the under, but for sure, I already got them at minus 135 on Caesars. They're down to like minus 150 on most books. I think I would still hit it. Like I was trying to cap it at like minus 140 for them on their money line. You could take their first 5 too. I think it was worse, but all that stuff for them to win basically because of Yuri Perez going up against Brandon Williamson. So you have like the best rookie pitcher in the league versus someone who is struggling mightily.
And the entire Reds are just in a complete free for all here. And it's been
I took
exactly
under 10.5.
I kind of like 10.5 too. It's always dangerous playing under with the Reds because they can't pitch and they can hit. But I agree, 10.5 with Perez on the mound. Maybe you can isolate it better and just go first five team total. But I agree, at 10.5 with Perez on the mound is certainly interesting. Yeah, July 6th was the last time Perez pitched. I wonder.
Dude, he's
And
filthy.
he's unbelievable. But in regards to the K prop, do you think they'll give him a full workload? Because he's an automatic 6, 7, 9. I mean, he's unbelievable with
Yeah.
the Ks. You just worry after being out so long, what they're going to give him in terms of a pitch count. Although I wouldn't think they would pitch him if they're going to have him on like
Right.
a 60 pitch count. So my guess he's had a pretty long leash. It's enough to at least be a concern.
You get plus money on the over 6.5
Yeah,
Ks.
seven's still a lot, but
Seven's a
I don't
lot,
I don't hate it. He's
but
fully capable.
yeah, but you either got to eat the juice at 5.5 or take
Yeah.
it at 6.5. That's how they're doing it these days with these types of pitchers.
I'm gonna
I
try
mean,
to pull
if
up.
he goes 6, if you're like, yo, he's going 6, right? If you like the outs prop per se, let's say, doesn't that make you think, okay, well, if he's going 6, he's got like an 11 K per 9 ratio right now.
Right.
That's still won
Right.
an inning, better than. So but he obviously has to go 7 at that point. 6.2 gets you there. I mean, when you look at it that way, it's like, yeah, I would do it. The Reds are striking out a good amount against righties.
I probably split a unit between over 5.5, over 6.5, just because I don't want to fully miss out on a win if he hits on 6. But look, I'm not opposed to the over 6.5. How about the Reds, man? The Reds just, I mean, it feels reactionary to just say they're done, but kind of feels like they're done. They just didn't trade for any pitching. They don't have any pitching.
This is what they do. This is what they've been doing is streaking though. Like they
this is
started
a bad
awful.
one though. This is a really bad one.
Yeah,
this is a really bad one. This is the Nationals at home. Friday night was really bad because they're up 3-0 with Ashcraft. They hit 2 home runs the first 3 batters against Corbin. Yeah. They're up 3-0 late in the game. Ashcraft is cruising, and they lose that game, and they kind of got run out of the building the last 2 games.
Dude, that was managing. Ashcraft had pitched to his limit. He was done. It was obvious. It was the 8th inning. Take him the hell out. But you don't have anything in the back end. Then the rotate in the bullpen, then you're effed. So yeah,
they've always given him a good workload too. Like they let him eat. They let him go.
Big boy.
Yeah, he is. And I like it. I think it's good. For especially younger pitchers.
Yeah,
let him work through the lineup 3rd, 4th time through.
I love a pitcher whose his uniform is literally bursting at the top button because he's so big, like David Wells' ass.
Yep.
I got a bunch of bets from the Yankees game because I'm actually kind of riding with them and fading Dylan Cease. It's not great juice for under 7.5 Ks for Cease, but it's minus 160. I think the over is good in this game. It's only at 7.5 as well. And I would take basically Cole in the first 5 money line for the Yankees, banking on Cole being better than Cease in this one. Like the White Sox offense is absolute trash. And Cease's X indicators are all bad. They're all like a full run worse than whatever his actual numbers are. He was striking dudes out in June. July came right back down to earth in like a 24% K rate. So I think he's still going to be awful. And I mean, Garrett Cole's like, he's still an AL Cy Young favorite. He's still got a 2.64 ERA.
Big favorite.
Expected numbers. Yeah. So like, I mean, I still think he's going to continue pitching the way he has. He handled the Rays lineup the other night. So, and like the Yankees versus left-handed pitching, it's a little bit skewed right now because they just walloped Shane O'Mac, who then went right on the injured list. So it's like kind of a weird sample size, and they only faced 2 other lefties in July. But you go back for like the last 3 times they faced lefties.
Cease is a righty.
Oh, my bad. You're right.
Cease is a righty. So your play here is the Yankees money line?
Yeah. Hold on. Wait.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. No, I wrote LHP there, but I meant RHP. My bad. Yeah, top 10 offense versus RHP. And they are striking out a decent amount, but they kind of toned it down a bit. So
still anything else on this card? We do have a day game.
Yeah, I do.
Padres. Yeah, go for it.
I also want to say that from RotoWire, there's no news about Perez not getting full start. They're anticipating that they're going to use him a lot more this season is pretty much what they're saying. I went with a kind of like an interesting play here. I went Joey Wentz over 4.5 strikeouts. Hold on, let me make sure that's the right number.
Joey.
Yeah, from the Tigers. Yeah, over 4.5 strikeouts, minus 120. And then I laddered him up to 9 strikeouts. He's already pitched against them a couple of times. He struck them out 9 times in one outing, 4 in another. And that 4 one he probably could have been better. He's just getting a little bit long in the tooth in that one. And the Twins are still number 1 strikeouts to right-handed pitching. Oh man, I messed that up. I forgot Wentz was a left-handed pitcher. That was a stupid play.
You guys are dyslexic today with the
oh my god!
I know what I'm talking about.
While we regroup, we did have a question in the Twitch chat. Somebody asked about the total in Red Sox Royals. It is 10 is even money for the over at DraftKings, under 10 minus 120. It's Bello against, is it Reagan's or Ragans?
Yeah, Reagan's.
Is he related to the president?
Right now, I do. I'm kind of like I was looking at him. I don't have the balls to bet the Royals, even though they've been better at hitting. It so happens we play the Mets, I guess. They have been better, but Cole Reagans has looked pretty good. He's got some pretty good stuff. He was decent on the Rangers last year, but he needs to. He basically just needs to keep the ball in the park, and then he's looked a lot better. The thing is, I actually also really like Brayan Bello as is what Tone Stamp just said too. So like, yeah, I like both pitchers more
Yeah.
so in this game. So an under at 10.5 is pretty nice.
I didn't know he was Ronald Reagan's son.
He is not.
He's not. Okay.
That's spelled
Tone,
right.
Tone just told me he was. So that's on Tone.
All right, Tone,
Um,
come on, check your
yeah.
facts, buddy.
And anyone in the chat can just shoot us questions, thoughts, comments, anything we'd like to hear from you guys.
I have a sleeper play.
Go give it. What took so long?
Oh man, it's because this one. Okay, so to be honest, this one really made me upset because I was trying to put a lot of fades in the Atlanta games, and they kept moving the lines on sleepers. So it's not as juicy as I'd like, but it's a little bit over 5.5 toward to your money. It's Otani to get a walk. He's going up against Webb today. Webb is not a huge walk pitcher, but Webb's been getting kind of beat up a little bit recently. So I figure and beat up, but he's still been getting linked, which is crazy for anybody who bets pitching outs. I still think that they're going to pitch around Otani like everyone's been doing. Senga under 17.5 pitching outs. He's been a beast, but even stemming back to his second to last start, he was kind of fortunate to go 18 innings, 18 outs, 6 innings in that one because he went into the inning with like 50 something pitches, ended up having like a 30 pitch, or no, I think there was 60 pitches, ended up having like a 30-40 pitch uh, inning, gave up a couple runs, and they still let him finish it out there. But the Cubs are just seeing the ball so well right now. And then we add in the weather right there. And then Lane Thomas, over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. He's just seeing the ball well, pitching. He's hitting like a madman. His like his numbers aren't actually great in terms of hitting, batting average and all that, but I'm really high on them against Trevor Williams today. So it kind of actually not against Trevor Williams, against Suarez today. So it kind of gives me a little bit more confidence in taking Lane Thomas. I was going to go a little bit and take Ruiz over 1.5 total bases and add it if you guys want to make it a little bit more. But I think that's just like a better just to play it standalone than put it inside a parlay because it's obviously a lot less likely to hit.
All right, good stuff. You touched on something that gave me. You mentioned the Angels. Man, there are some of these teams are just in free fall mode. What Angels, Diamondbacks, Reds,
Yeah.
Marlins to an extent. I mean, some of these teams, the bottom has just completely fallen off. And it's funny if the trade deadline was this week versus last week, like the Angels might have a different conversation with Otani because now you are nowhere near the mid. Like you trade for all these guys, they haven't won since. They are a disaster. Arizona, just a disaster. That was an awful loss yesterday. If you bet on Arizona, I think we were talking about this before the show. I don't think it was on air. Man, you just had there was at one point like the 6th or 7th inning when they had like 12 base runners but 1 run. Then the 8th inning they had 2nd and 3rd, 1 out, couldn't score. And then 9th inning finally they hit a home run. They're up 3-2 going into the 9th. You feel good, just need 3 more outs. And then Paul Sewald, the new addition, homer, walk, homer, good night, doesn't get an out. So man, some of these teams are just in free fall mode.
Did you even say the Brewers, which is interesting because like the Brewers are falling through by the wayside because everyone's talking about the Reds, but they lost to the Pirates.
Right.
Yeah.
Remember when the Pirates started tanking too?
And a bad loss to Washington. Like, yeah, some of these, it's a fascinating race. Should we get to the division odds? Any odds to make the playoffs? Anything like that?
Yeah. Also,
wait, let me just ask you.
Go
Okay, go ahead.
I had one more bet. Is the only thing.
Oh.
I just wanted to get out there. I like Pablo Lopez too on the Twinkies to strike out a bunch of Tigers. It's even more. It's 7.5 for plus money, or you got to go 6.5 for and eat the juice. But I like Detroit's been striking out a ton. Their bats are bad. Like he's had success striking out like 6 of the 9 batters he's going to face tonight. Has a 37% K rate or higher against. So 7.5 Ks is why it's so high because they know that. But Pablo Lopez is coming on lately too. So I loved him so much when he was in the NL. And so
all
he's
right,
coming
calm
back
down.
to that
Don't
I'm sorry, dude. He was so freaking good. He's, he like Perez is basically him at this point. Like, so.
I was thinking about Perez's over 18.5 pitching outs at how much? What is it at plus 145? Like he's been getting length. Like he's almost like an auto lock to pitch at least 6 innings. All you need is 1 more out, and you cash plus 145. I considered that.
Just
I was about to say I wouldn't bet that, but once you said +1 to 45, I was like, that's actually juicy enough where I might take it. I feel like 6 is the cutoff point for so many guys. Where if
Yeah.
you're at six innings, 90 pitches, you probably, especially as a younger pitcher, you might not get that one out. But at +145,
They let him pitch
tempting.
6 and 2/3 innings against the Mariners, even though the Mariners were hitting the shit out of him.
Yeah.
Like that's what was wild.
yeah.
Let's do some of these divisions, and then we can look at maybe odds to make the playoffs. NL West, Dodgers -800, San Fran +7 to 1, Dodgers 40, Padres 45 to 1, Diamondbacks 65 to 1. My goodness. Anyone there? Can anyone make a case for anyone other than the Dodgers or no?
No.
With you, Josh. Anyone?
I would love to, but I can't. Like the Giants just continue to win as like the MacGyver of the majors since like 2 years
Lost
ago.
a couple games to Oakland too, which really,
Yeah.
you got to cash those. If you're trying to play catch up, especially to the Dodgers, even though it's not vintage Dodgers, you got to bank those.
Their margin for victory is so small. They
Yeah.
can't afford. They don't have the power to hit it out of the park. Blah blah blah. So
Right.
they're already playing in that tough park out there in the Bay. So
NL Central, this one is fascinating. Brewers still -115, Cubs
Chicago, what do
+210,
you say?
Reds +360. Cubs +210 looks good to me. I don't know.
Yeah, it does. Sign me up for the Cubs.
Cubs
I locked them in. I wanted to lock them in last night when you were talking about them. I have them 101 to win the World Series. So
Sheesh.
Tied
I
for
know.
second place with the Reds, both a game and a half behind the Brewers. So the Brewers are holding on to a 1.5 game lead. So that's why the minus sign, man. I just feel like the Brewers haven't capitalized on this soft schedule where you get the Pirates and you get the Nationals, and they're playing someone crappy tonight. They're playing the Rockies tonight, I think. So, maybe, I don't know. Do you wait here with the Cubs? Figure the Brewers have a good series against. I just want to make sure I'm saying it right here. Yeah, they are playing Colorado tonight. Do you wait a few days or you just jump on the Cubs right now?
And the
I already
Cubs
hit that.
are taking the Mets. I don't know because I just think like
Mets have
the
been
Mets
bad
just feel
too.
like they just like given up.
Oh
Like,
God.
so it's kind of difficult. Like it's an interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd probably just lock in. Like because if we keep waiting, it's just gonna keep going down. Like that's why I'm glad. Like I talked about it on the show when I took them at 100 to 1. So like I'm glad that I have that. It's not like I think they're gonna win, but I mean, man, they make it to the World Series. It's easy to hedge 100 to 1 prop.
AL East, Orioles -180, Rays +190, Blue Jays 12 to 1. Anyone care about anything there?
We talked about the Orioles a while ago. I think everyone should have got it when they were still in the lead at plus money. And it's not even that I think the Rays aren't playing terrible. It's just like Baltimore is just matching what they're doing, which makes it kind of difficult to get behind the Rays. Baltimore's playing so well.
Yeah, no bet for me there.
No, nothing.
No.
Not at all.
Twins -700 to win the Central. Can we make a case for Cleveland? Probably not, right?
No, Cleveland sold. They sold. They proved they were sellers. They gave up.
Dude.
And then Texas -120, Houston +125. I still think it's a coin flip. I would take Houston at the +125. That's going to be a great race. That to me, that might be the best race. Both those teams are really good. Rangers have held it together. They got some more pitching, so I think that'll come down to like the last weekend. But I'd probably take the +125 just because it's plus money. I think it's gonna be close. I think they play each other soon too. That'll be a great series, a fun series.
I'm just waiting for like those Astros bats to just like turn the heck up. Like
yeah, they had a couple
everyone back and
couple games at Yankee Stadium where they didn't hit.
Yeah.
Odds to make the playoffs. Let's see if there's anything interesting here. Maybe let's just look at your updated Cubbies to make the playoffs, Josh. And they are even money to make the playoffs. No is -120. I think yes is a good bet at +100. I think they're making the playoffs.
DraftKings has way better odds.
Why'd you?
It's -148 on FanDuel.
What was it, Brett?
Why'd you book me that? With Chicago?
I mean, I had some of the division and I have the other two teams too, so it's a little mini hedge. But
okay, I figure you keep using me to hedge a bit is what I feel like is happening.
And you get better odds with me. I get better odds with you. It's mutually beneficial.
Win-win, baby.
Yes. What did you say, Brad? Who has the better odds?
DraftKings -148 on DraftKings to make the playoffs. I mean, FanDuel.
Okay,
that's
for
crazy.
the Cubs.
Yeah.
Anything World Series? We've probably talked about this before, but just a quick update. Like anyone?
Yeah. What is the up? Because I actually did really. Okay. I still do like the Astros. So I also hedged a bit with the Stros the other day and took them at +125 is my ticket. Yeah, for them to win the division. I also took them to win the NL. I got them winning the pennant at +700 is what I got them at. They're down to +425 for the AL pennant. So I would, and then the reason I took them to win the World Series is because I figured I got them 7-1 to win the World Series. It's actually 9-1 now, which is weird. It got worse, but I took them 7-1 to win the World Series because I'm not going to get a better number than that if they make it to the World Series, and I think they're going to. So that was why I was like, well, I might as well sprinkle on the plus 700. All my logic leads to them getting there, and if once they get there, and I think they do play the Bravos, I mean, indicators would, it seems like that would be the indication, but even if they play the Bravos and I don't think they're favorites, I still probably won't get better 7-1. So those are my recent futures that I played.
9-1 at DraftKings.
Yeah.
Awards, it's funny. MVP, both like Otani's off the board. Acuna's minus 1600. That is wild.
Maybe worth a little parlay there.
What would
you
Freddie
can't even
Freeman have to
anymore.
do to get back into that race?
Acuna would have to get hurt.
Dude, yeah,
Right?
Freeman was the best hitter in baseball for the last month, and it
Yeah,
doesn't matter.
and it doesn't matter. Like he's been balling, it's not even moving. I have
Yeah.
Freeman. I got Freeman pretty early in the year, and it's not like I'm just like want to just grade the ticket as a loss. Like get it out of my.
I know. I'm with you. I'm with you. Cy Young, Cole minus 200. Anyone? Valdez plus 450. Gausman 6-1. Castillo 10-1. Boy, Castillo's been bad. He's not winning this award.
Yeah, no,
Anything you guys like there?
He was nice for a minute.
No, I don't. This is feels kind of weird because like I'm like looking at like who I would pick. Eovaldi's hurt. Gausman's okay, but Valdez number actually went up from last week, which is funny
After a
to
good
look
start,
at. Yeah.
Maybe you take Framber if the Astros overtake the division based on him having like 4 good starts down the stretch or something like that. But he needs to be pretty awesome the last 4. And Cole needs to not suck, to be fair. And like I said, he has some bad expected numbers, but I don't know, maybe they play based on that with Framber.
Yeah, I just
5-1.
man, it was 10-1, it was 8-1, it's 6-1 now,
Yeah.
plus 450. Like if we had to just, hey, you're arriving on the planet now, what would you bet? I mean, plus 450 to me on Framber would be the bet, but it's not actually good enough for me to bet.
Yeah.
NL is interesting. Strider, the short chop, plus 220. Gowan 3-1. Snell 4-1. And even Webb's 9-1. I don't think Webb's winning this award.
Webb's not winning. He's had too many bad
I
outings.
agree.
Like,
Burns 19-1. The one that would be interesting, Wheeler 13-1. But I don't think he's winning. But anything jump out to you guys there?
Wheeler was 100-1 to win this award. Like a month. When was that? A month ago?
A couple months ago. Yeah, but like he still had the best expected FIP and like a nasty expected ERA. So it was kind of like, wait, he's not getting the help he needs or something. But
yeah, I think it was Snell and Wheeler were closer to the 101.
Strider just has he's in the media. Like he's the dude that is being talked about more than any of these guys, I think.
And he's still ringing up like 10, 13 Ks. Like
that's what it, when you see 4 games in a row with 10 plus Ks, blah, 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 like it's hard to be like, well, these other guys are better. Maybe overall they're like, you average everything out, they're like as good or better than Strider, but when you look at his end game samples, you're just like, this overtook everybody. Nobody cares that he gave up 4 runs when he struck out 11 Diamondbacks, you know? Yeah. So, I mean, Brian got him at 10-1, which was a good bet.
Yes. And people think, oh, it's so late in the year, nobody can win at long odds. Harper, when he won MVP 2 years ago, was like 30-1, middle of August. Robbie Ray won Cy Young that same year. He was 100-1 at the All-Star break. So you get guys come out of nowhere. And Soto, I remember, was 100-1 the year Harper won.
Yeah.
And he finished second. He probably should have won. He was just on such a bad team. They didn't give it to him. So there's a lot of time left. I mean, the MVPs are sewn up. I think those guys, that's interesting. If Acuna and Otani get hurt today, do they still win the award? Otani would, I think.
Otani would. I don't know if Acuna, would.
Well, the thing about Acuna getting hurt is if like Matt Olson stepped up even more, he's still got to be in the race.
Or Riley, like there's so many guys in the Braves. I don't know. That would be fascinating. But Acuna is getting to the point where, hey, a couple more weeks, even if he's hurt, he's going to win.
Yeah, that's fair.
Anything preseason football? You guys care? Anything else you guys want to talk about?
I think a bet that we should be talking about is Tristan Casas at 18-1 to win the American League Rookie of the Year.
Okay.
Like, I mean, he's hot right now. He's coming in hot, which means if he continues to be hot, the numbers are just going to get closer and closer to Henderson's. Like he's got 17 home runs, 41 RBIs. So it's 17-19 for home runs and 51-41 in RBIs. Batting average is better than than Henderson. We'll see what happens, but I mean, 18-1 when I think they're a lot more even. I think.
Is he the best rookie? Is on his own team though? Is Yoshida like Yoshida's plus 1?
Yoshida's better than him, and he has a better price. But that's what's hard is when you start splitting up votes right there.
Right. And the Orioles have been such a good story. Everyone loves like the Orioles young talent. But hey, at 18-1, I don't know. Where is it 18-1? I'm seeing 15-1 on FanDuel.
I'm looking at FanDuel right now. Do we have different odds on FanDuel? Mine's
No,
You
I'm
can.
saying
You could
DraftKings.
have different-
I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
15-1.
FanDuel is 18.
Yeah. Would you? Are you actually going to bet this?
I might. I haven't decided yet. I think I want to.
Yeah. All right. Anything else preseason? You guys betting any preseason yet?
No, but wait. How about when I said the sharpest angle for that game last week had to have been Jets first half? That was crazy. I was just talking, just yapping to yap, but look, it worked out.
I had Jets money line. I took some Browns 2.5, and it was Jets by 2 for a very long time in the fourth quarter. Then the Browns get a touchdown. It looked like the Jets were about to score again. Then there was a no call on pass interference at like the 2. So the NFL season has started with the refs and just the randomness of it. That was frustrating, but I don't know. I didn't watch too much of the game. This week we'll start to see more of the guys. I saw Stroud's playing this week, and just again, if anyone wants to bet preseason, check out the quarterback rotations. Try to get as much info as you can because there is info out there. Like Russell Wilson's going to play. There are some guys that take it more seriously than other coaches.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, boys. Anything else?
I'm also taking the Rangers -1.5.
Oh, tonight?
Yeah.
Who is that? They are home against somebody bad. I forget.
Oakland. They're playing against Oakland.
I don't hate that at all.
Price is good. -125. Not bad.
I can't argue with you there. But on that note, we will wrap. I am going to parlay the 2 pitchers for the Cubs-Mets game and hope we get some rain and the game continues. Smiley, Senga at Bet Rivers. Under 5.5, under 3.5 is plus 550. So I'm actually going to go bet that right after the show. So Brad, Josh, appreciate you guys. We'll be back tomorrow, 1 o'clock Eastern. Thank you to the Twitch chat, Pickett, Sleeper. See you guys tomorrow.